Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. Thanks for joining us. We have a great webinar today. We're going to talk about AI prompts for content marketing. So thanks for joining. Before we get started, just some logistics here. If anybody has any comments or questions during the webinar, just paste them into the online chat and we will stop periodically to answer them, as well as at the end of the webinar, we'll have time to answer anything on this topic or anything else you'd like to ask. Also, we will be posting a copy of the webinar on our website, a video recording, and it should be up by tomorrow morning. So if you want to review later or send it to somebody, please visit eDirectory.com, and on the bottom there are our webinars. With us today is I'm James, by the way, and I'm the founder of the company. And with us today is Emerson from our marketing team. Hi, Emerson.
Hi, James, and hello, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, great. Thanks for joining. And also, we have a couple events coming up in the next couple weeks. We typically run one of these webinars every other Wednesday. On November 6th, we're going to talk about creating a killer homepage. That should be a great webinar. November 20th, we're going to do an overview of the plugins available for eDirectory. On December 4th, we're going to talk about preparing the site for the holidays. And on December 18th, integrations to power up your site. And for anybody new here, just some very quick background on the eDirectory platform. This is the platform that we sell to create online listing style sites, directory style sites for any industry or purpose. It's used for all sorts of things from local search to vendor directory, real estate directories, anything you can possibly imagine. We have integrated mobile apps available for iPhone and Android that you can install under your own brand in the app stores. Also, we've spent a lot of time doing SEO optimization for the websites, so they do get traffic. We've done a lot of work on that. Also, there's an easy design and layout customization with no coding through the admin interfaces. You can get it to look like your own other site, your own brand, with your style, widgets, widget-based layout to quickly configure things. And we do have a source code version available and an in-house customization team. If you do want to do more in-depth code customizations, integrate with legacy systems, and the source code available version allows you to make updates yourself for that. Okay, so today we're going to talk about one of the hot topics these days, which is artificial intelligence. We have a basic integration with eDirectory for creating some content using OpenAI's ChatGPT. But today we're actually going to talk about using prompts for content marketing, which is creating content to drive visitors to the website. So just a quick overview on what's going on in AI today. A lot of things, it's changing very, very quickly. In terms of generative AI, there's a couple key models out there. I think everybody's familiar with OpenAI's ChatGPT. That's probably the big one everybody knows. Of course, also there's Google's Gemini model. Meta, who's behind Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, they have a model called Llama that they've actually open sourced, which is very interesting. And then the other model the other big model is probably Anthropic's Claude module. And actually, that one released a really interesting feature just yesterday. It dropped where they have a method to connect it to a desktop where it can actually run desktop commands and sort of get tasks done. It's still in the early phases, but very, very fascinating how things are moving. So these text models you can ask questions, do chat, and they'll answer you, and it's really amazing what they can do. Also, there's image-based models that generate images where you put in some prompts like create an image of a cowboy on a horse, and it'll do that for you. And these image models, the main ones are DALL-E from OpenAI, Midjourney, Night Cafe. There's also some music models that create music. Uh, Avia, I believe it's pronounced, Beatbot, Beethoven, and some video models that I actually you've seen. Maybe you've seen on Twitter some of these deepfake videos coming out that are pretty interesting. And so some of these video models are Synthesiza, Deep Brain AI, and V.io. There's new things happening every day. So really exciting times out there, and we're going to show you today a little bit about how you can use some of these models to generate content for your site. So just a quick, overview on AI and using it for digital marketing. It's actually one of the very key use cases for it. It takes a lot of work out for you potentially. It can generate content very quickly. New scenarios are appearing every day, and it's a very exciting and even unknown future of what's going to happen here. And there has been a lot of sort of fear among, knowledge workers. Are we, me, myself, everybody's sort of thinking like, who's going to have a job in the next 10 years with this stuff? But I think we in this industry, technology, online marketing, actually, it's a huge opportunity because we can get in front of the wave and take advantage of these tools to really build some great content and do some great things with it. So I'm excited about it. I would say and it's going to take longer than anybody thinks, for a lot of things to happen. But already these tools are so good. And I think we'll talk more, as we go here. But one of the big things I wanted to mention is the models are very good about sort of producing content, but it's really important that you put your own touches on it, your own brand, your own curation, your own style to it. Because really that's the differentiator between these sites instead of these big models that are just sort of generic. Um, and so with that, I'll turn it over to Emerson to continue with the specifics.
Okay, thank you, James. So I believe you can see my screen now, so I can start my part here. So content marketing. So let's start with the basics. Is a digital marketing strategy that focuses on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and engage a target audience. It is widely used to establish authority in a niche, connect with its target audience, and drive customer acquisition and retention, which is very important. In our case, for directory owners, there are two audiences to consider, site visitors and advertisers. So when we are thinking about producing content to our target audience, we need to consider content for site visitors looking to consume what you have to offer on your website, listings, events, classifieds, etc. And advertisers, we need to make them agree with your idea and sign up for your website. And content marketing is not just writing articles and blog posts, but also email marketing pieces, advertising campaigns, call to actions, social media, video scripts, and so on. So now we come to 5 key elements of content marketing, which is content marketing relies on producing high quality content that addresses the needs and interests of the target audience. This content can take various forms such as blog posts, articles, videos, infographics, podcasts, videos, and more. The content is created with a deep understanding of the target audience's preferences, pain points, and questions. It should be tailored to their needs and provide value. Creating content is just the first step. Effective distribution and promotion through various channels like social media, email marketing, organic traffic with SEO, etc., are essential to reach a wider audience. And effective content marketers adapt their strategies based on data and feedback. They refine their approach based on what works and what doesn't. So having the feedback from your audiences, from your site visitors, etc., is very important for the success of your strategies. And about talking about strategy, content marketing is typically a long-term strategy, and results may not be immediate. It requires patience and ongoing effort to build a loyal audience and see significant return of investment of your time, mostly. And the benefits of content marketing for directories, we can say that by creating high quality, keyword rich content related to the directory's niche or industry, can rank higher in search engine ranking. So it will improve the visibility of your projects. And when users find helpful articles, guides, or resources, they are more likely to visit the directory for additional information and to explore the listed business, events, etc. It means engagement, which is very important to Google. By consistently producing valuable and informative content, they can become trusted resources for users seeking information and recommendations related to their niche or industry. Engaged users are more likely to return to the directory and use its services, so the engagement is very important. Quality content can attract advertisers and sponsors interested in reaching the directory's audience. So your traffic is the backbone of your project. So it's very important to have content, not just listings and events and other items that you can create with eDirectory. Well-optimized and evergreen content can continue to drive traffic and generate leads over an extended period, contributing to the directory's sustained success. So you can write it once and it will stay forever and will increase the authority of your domain, of your project, etc. User-generated content, which is a bit different than the content you are going to create your website, and such as reviews and comments on articles, can foster a sense of belonging and encourage user loyalty. Articles and tutorials can educate users on how to make the most of the directory services, leading to increased user satisfaction and retention. So not just promoting your website, but teaching them how to use it and how to find things in a better way. And social sharing, because valuable content is more likely to be shared on social media platforms, increasing the exposure of your website to a wider audience. Social sharing can drive more traffic and potential users to your eDirectory. As James mentioned, we have an integration with ChatGPT from OpenAI that helps you and your advertisers to write descriptions in general for listings, events, classifieds, etc. They can also be used uh, to fill in the SEO fields such as keywords, meta descriptions. You can write blog posts right from the scratch using the integration. Your advertisers can write articles the same way. And you can optimize the listings that are already created by your advertisers. So you can improve the existing content, the user-generated content, using the AI integration within your directory websites. And how to start? Yeah, that's the idea of the webinar. So the prompts for ChatGPT or any other text-based artificial intelligence platform are suggestions to guide it on what should be generated next. Prompts can also be used to refine the output by providing additional information or feedback on what was generated. In summary, prompts are a useful tool to assist in guiding and customizing text generation by the AI platforms. Remember that while the platforms can be a powerful tool, it's essential to ensure that the content it generates aligns with your brand's voice and values. Always review and edit the outputs to maintain quality and accuracy, and consider monitoring user interactions to improve the effectiveness of your artificial intelligence content marketing efforts. And some very quick tips on prompting. give the AI an identity, because just throwing a simple question, you want to have the same results as training the AI to produce the text you are looking for. So tell ChatGPT, for example, who you are or who you want it to be in its responses. You could say you are an executive with X, Y, and Z goals, or you are a social media manager for a consulting agency. When you tell the AI platform who it is, it will be able to look at the word through that lens. And the next big important tip is to add tone. Particularly if you are creating content, you will want to set the tone of the responses. Are you an expert? Are you a kind, empathetic teacher? Are you curious, funny? ChatGPT, if given that context, will emulate it. It also helps to use this tone when writing your prompts, as it can then build into the language. This also works for image generating tools. Set the tone for what you seek with words like cartoonish, mystical, or bright. So the prompt is useful for all the tools, not just text-based tools. And add background text. Don't forget that giant chat box is just waiting to be filled. Don't hold back on providing as much information as possible. If I'm asking Chat GPT to write an email, I will add examples of emails I have written. You can say, we will be writing an article, so here are samples of recent articles I've written. So it will help them to understand yourself. And direct the length of the responses. Do you want a 2,000-word report, a few paragraphs, or something super short, like a tweet-length response? Give it this direction. And ask AI to ask you questions, which is very funny because we are the ones making questions. So you can ask the AI platform to ask you clarifying questions. What else do you need to know from me to do what I have asked? So you are open this space, this dialogue with the AI platform to improve the output. So in a real world example, we can say like this. Instead of write a blog post about the best of Miami, Florida, you can try this. You are now a blog post writer for an online travel guide for Miami, Florida. Your tone is friendly and informal. Write a blog post with 2,000 words about why people should visit Miami. Its title and main keyword is the best of Miami. It must include its main beaches, places to eat and shop. Paragraphs must be a maximum of 4 lines long. Include bullet points summarizing the main topics. Create a list of suggested images. For the SEO portion, write a meta description under 160 characters. So see the difference. The first output will be much better, according to your goals, of course. And some generic ideas you can try for your project. Here we typically use the website, our demo website, that is my online directory. So these questions here are all based on this subject for an online directory targeting Miami visitors. So from these ideas, create 5 pieces of compelling copy that will encourage customers to sign up for our email list about deals in Miami. Create 4 different email subject lines to promote our upcoming newsletter about deals in Miami. Develop 3 ideas for content to include in an email drip campaign for new Miami Deals newsletter subscribers. Create 5 pieces of compelling copy that will encourage customers to download our mobile app. Provide a comprehensive guide to planning a perfect vacation in Miami Beach, including tips on accommodations, dining, and must-visit attractions. Showcase the vibrant street art and cultural experiences in Miami's Wynwood Arts District. Create an advertising campaign about an online travel guide for Miami City, targeting all types of travelers, include key messages and slogans, and choose the best media channels for promotions. Create two call to action button ideas based on the content of this blog post. And then you are going to insert your blog post there so ChatGPT will know what's about. Write a full YouTube script with tips on car rental in Miami, Florida. Build a 6-month social media calendar for an online travel guide in Miami, Florida. The guide is present on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Include special events, holidays, and regular posts to engage visitors. So these were some initial ideas. From that, you can and you must improve the prompting to include the tone, voice, branding, values, all that we discussed before. And as some final tips from me, so when you have the first output or the second, third, fourth output from the AI platform, rewrite it to give it your personal touch. James started the webinar saying this, and it's very important. So it will give you the whole text, the whole project, your touch, your brand, your voice. And you can eliminate excessive adjectives. So it's very good for reading. So people tends to believe more if you are not too using too much adjectives. And you can shorten sentences because you know that the attention span are reduced. We are on a TikTok age that we are talking about 15 seconds, 30 seconds. So you need to captivate the audience with shorter sentences. And add internal links on the blog post, for example, for your listings, events, custom pages, etc. Don't rely just on the content produced and suggested by the AI platforms. Use your internal contents, your own content, your listings from that category for the car rentals in Florida, for the hotels you have on your website, etc. As we were talking about the guide for Miami. On the blog post we're going to publish tomorrow, we'll have a list of 20 something initial prompts that you can use to produce your own content and some more ideas. I believe that's it from my end
Great.
today. So
Yeah, thanks,
yeah.
Emerson. That was great. And yeah, the thing I just want to add and sort of reinforce is whatever comes out from the AI is you can actually ask the AI to adjust things. I know Emerson mentioned this, but hey, in paragraph 2, can you make the tone a little bit more snarky? You can do things like that, and it'll adjust the text for you as you go. And don't just take it and put it up there. Make your own changes, make your own tone to go with it. Well, great. Let's open it up to questions. And it looks like we already had a couple come in here, so that's great. And you can just post the questions in the chat. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to mention is we will have a survey after the webinar. So when you close down the webinar, after we're done, just give us some feedback. We do like the feedback so we can make these better each time. Okay, first question. From Harry Berto, do you provide technical assistance to embed OpenAI into our directories? If so, is this included in our memberships or is this an additional cost? So we have an integration that's already in the base version of eDirectory that basically you sign up for OpenAI and get an API key and then put that into the site manager settings and it will enable when you're writing content like listing descriptions, that type of content. It will enable you to connect with OpenAI's ChatGPT to write that content, and you can put in prompts right in there. Alternatively, you could open up another browser window and use the site manager and write your content somewhere else and then paste it in if you're using another model. But we do have an OpenAI integration built in there. Um, there is an added cost. I think OpenAI charges a little bit, but from what we've seen, it's pretty nominal because it's only creating the content one time. It's not, site visitors aren't using or hitting the API. So it's like from what I've seen, it's been pennies to nothing, depending. But there is a cost to OpenAI. Our cost, it's included in the base product, so there's no cost for our part of it. Um, Question 2, when sponsors come across the AI links to do their ads and my directory isn't ready yet nor integrated to an AI provider for them to use, what is the right approach to go about this as far as what to tell them? So that the uh, do you know what do you understand that question a little bit more than I do there, Emerson?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay.
The integration with eDirectory from ChatGPT with eDirectory is very easy. As James mentioned, it's just about having the API key. But you can select which level of listing, for example, will have access to this feature. So you can save the ChatGPT help just for your premium advertisers. And if they select a plan that there is no AI available, they won't see the links to generate the contents with ChatGPT. So they won't know that it's available until they go to the advertise page and see the list of features included in each plan. I believe that answers the
Yeah.
question.
Okay, great. Are you able to we had a question, where do I go on the site to generate AI, or is it outside the site? Are you able to pull that up on a quick screen share and show them exactly where that is?
Yep. So I have already opened here my test, my demo site. So let's say, first things first, when you go to settings and general settings, right at the bottom, you will see the integration for ChatGPT. So the AI auto suggest is here. So it's just a simple key we're going to paste. So this is to enable to use in OpenAI integration. And you can enable the auto suggest for sponsors. And after that, you can configure which level of listing or classified, etc., will have the ability to use your chat GPT integration.
Yeah, so
And
just to be clear
once,
there, Emerson, just to be clear, so you can enable it only for the site manager to use it, or you can let let site sponsors use ChatGPT as well to write their listing descriptions and stuff like that.
yes, that's correct. So for both site owners and listing owners, when they are creating a listing, let me just try to add one to show the interface here. Let me just get a listing. Okay. So when they are creating a listing that has the AI auto suggest enabled, they will see the AI assistant here for a summary description, for the description of that listing, article, event, etc. The keywords for the search. This works for the internal search of the directories, not the SEO portion. But when you fill in the first one, the next one for SEO, it's automatically included. But you can also do another round of suggestions here for the SEO portion of listings and events, classifieds, etc. For articles, so let me go back a little bit. For articles, the integration is a little bit different because you can write everything uh, from the ground up. So you can just go to the AI assistant. You can use your own prompting or use the suggested one that's included in the platform. So it's just a matter of choosing what works best for you. So that's the same behavior for both site owners and for advertisers. Is
Okay.
that it?
That's great. Yeah, I think that's a great overview. Let's see. Next question or comment from Warren. Suggestion for a future webinar, a session focused on site tricks and features used by Emerson and other site owners in the basic software. Since we have visibility into all the activities, this insight could be valuable for both current and future site owners. Yeah, that's a great suggestion, Warren. We'll note that. And we'll try to incorporate that in a future webinar. Um, Next question from Allison. Does Google recognize AI content? Do search engines penalize sites using AI content? Yes, Google absolutely recognizes AI content. There's actually not you know, at the end of the day, it's text that comes out, and it isn't very easy or possible to necessarily tag it and separate it from what a real person would write. It's not so easy to do that. The AI is so good these days. Interestingly, our support team often uses AI sometimes just to help with their grammar and stuff like that. And sometimes I recognize them. I'm like, did ChatGPT write that? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh well, we got to do this and this, you know, to make it a little more personal. But Google will certainly recognize it and index it. But you do want to personalize it and make sure that what you're writing and posting looks good. But yeah, the search engines, I think you're totally fine with AI content. Um, and do you have anything to add to
James,
that? Yeah.
yes, sure. There is no penalization for using AI contents, but Google wants to deliver on the search results page valuable content, no matter it is from AI generated content or some human that wrote it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to take the output and give your personal touch, because that's unique. And
Yeah.
Google somehow will see that. And there's no penalization for using artificial intelligent content on your websites.
Yeah, I think the downside that I've often seen with it or with sites built with it is they have a lot of sort of filler content because it's so easy to just put in a prompt and have it generate paragraph after paragraph of content. And so I would really make sure that the content is good and condensed and that somebody trying to make a purchase decision would want to read that content. That's sort of the decision. Do I use this content or not if it's going to be helpful for a person. Okay, great. Harry Berta said, you understood the question, Emerson. Thanks. That's good. Uh, Um, Next question is AI integration. No, and the reason for that is because all the generation, the content generation is done once when you're on the admin interface or the sponsor interface, and then it's saved and indexed in the database, just as regular text would. So there's no impact. And I know people using OpenAI, sometimes it takes time to generate, it comes off like word by word. And so all that is done and then saved and then pulled up very, very quickly. So there's no speed impact at all. Next question from Rhonda. Is it possible to restrict the type of language, such as no foul or unpleasant or X-rated words, or must I have a never use list? OpenAI, I think, has almost gone overboard in terms of making their responses very safe and rated G or PG, I think at the worst. So I don't think you need to worry about that with OpenAI. There is another model that Twitter or Elon Musk's X.AI has out there called Grok, and their model I think doesn't have the same restrictions, but I think if you don't prompt it for to be edgy or put in some bad language, I think it won't do that, by default. So I think you're okay. And after you test it and use it a little bit, I think you'll get comfortable with it. And you can just go, if you want, you can always go to OpenAI's ChatGPT, just search in for ChatGPT and you will get a sense of how it works and what it's going to say under those cases. And certainly before you save it to be displayed, uh, you'll know. And then, oh, we just had another comment come in, even for sponsors. So the sponsors could potentially try to use it to write some bad language, using I don't even know if it'll put out bad language if OpenAI will do that today. But the sponsors could write their own bad language anyway. So we do have a moderation queue in eDirectory where you can review the stuff before it goes live, before it's saved in the database. In the future, we're actually planning to integrate an AI to do that kind of checking automatically and flag it for you. But right now, when somebody updates a listing, a sponsor updates it, whether they use AI or not, you can review it before it goes live to make sure that there's no bad words in there. Um, any more comments there? And any more questions, post them in here. Let's see, anything else? looks like that may be all the questions for today. So, yeah, last chance for questions. Anything else you want to add, Emerson?
Just talking about the bad language, there is always the option to moderate the content, new and updated content from listings, events, etc. So you can review everything before it goes live on your website.
Yeah.
It's a manual process, but it can be done just to ensure the quality of the content.
Okay, great. Oh, and the next question came in. How often should you write articles? It really depends on, the type of site and how many, what kind of resources you have. Ideally, I would say, ideally, daily, weekly, then maybe bi-weekly, then maybe monthly. It really depends on what you're doing and what kind of guide you have. But the more fresh content, the more Google uprank your site, and the more people want to come back and read it. So, more fresh content, the better. But at the end of the day, it's really about quality. It's better to have, 2 articles a month that are really great quality instead of 2 articles a day that are just kind of junk filler, typically. Okay.
Maybe the biggest challenge is to create the initial load of articles. So
Hmm.
you launch the site today and you are going to write once a week, for example.
Yeah.
So you can write 10, 20 pieces at once and load that on your website so you have a bit more content. And then you can go with more in a weekly or bi-weekly strategy.
Yeah, great. Oh, and then a question, what's the recommendation on word length? I guess my thoughts on that would be if you look at a typical newspaper article, and sort of look at about what that length typically is, that's probably a good recommendation. On the other side of that, if you look at a publication like the New Yorker, the New Yorker has these, 10-page articles that are really fantastic and they really go in depth on a certain specific issue. So it depends on what type of site you're doing, what kind of category it's in. From that, I don't. Do you have any more comments on that, Emerson?
Yes, I was going to say that it depends on the topic mostly and the category of what you are writing. If we are considering blog posts, if you write a comprehensive resource about the best hotels in Miami, so you're going to have a for 5, 6, 7 pages length article. So, but if you're writing just tips for renting a car in Miami, you can have a shorter article, just quick tips. And so it depends a lot on the topic that you are writing about.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, fantastic. I guess that's all the questions. So I wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. And if you
Oh,
need any,
there's one
oh,
more
go ahead.
question, James.
Okay.
A question from
Oh,
Warren.
okay. Here
When
we
a
go.
sponsor updates a listing, is there a way for the current listing not to go to pending while we have to approve it? Yes, there is. The current version of the directory, you can select the status of the updated item, so you don't have to activate it manually. You can review it, but it can keep on the status as published and live without you having to activate the updated listing.
Okay. Yeah, and if anybody has any questions, technical questions about how the product works, you can always reach out to our support team. eDirectory.com has a live chat option, or you can set up a call. Warren asked what version that update came out. Do you know offhand?
13.5, I guess.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you can always reach out, and for anybody new here, certainly you can go to eDirectory.com and reach out to an account exec to get a tour, personalized tour of the product, and learn about how it can fit your needs. And thanks everybody again for joining, and come back in 2 weeks for the next webinar. Okay. All right. Thanks, Emerson. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.